Well, how do there, chums, and welcome back to Jett the Far Shore. This is Chapter 3, Adapt. Are we going to be adapting to this actual said place? I mean, last episode, some rocks fell on my head and knocked me completely sparko unconscious into comatose status. Well, actually it didn't. I managed to get back to actually the actual outpost, and then I fell unconscious. But while I was unconscious, maybe something has infected me, because you start off inside of what's a dream-type scape in your unconsciousness world. And yes, it's like a church, come museum-y type art gallery, come weird place. I mean, it's got a tentacle man in there. Yes, a tentacle man. So after you go around all of this, and you're heading up the aisle, there is a tentacle man right there. He's got horns, he's got tentacles, he's a tentacle man, and he wants to get his tentacles into thee. And he done it twice to me, because I had no idea what was going on. Wait down in the art gallery bit and wait for Tentacle Man to come down the aisle. Yes, here comes the Tentacle Man, all tentacly. Run away from Tentacle Man! Do not let him touch you. And then just leg it round and get behind him and get out the doors. He does look like he's been put together by a load of spare bits they had laying around the office. He's got a freaking deer type head, he's got a skeleton chest, and he's got tentacle legs. I like it how people all evaporate as you're running through here. It's quite a trippy dream, to be fair. Now, you also find out that Jonesy, yes, in the last episode, Jones, her eyes also lit up bright white when we was in that cave as we went past her. And yes, she seems to be infected too, and you learn that from these two guys. So thank you, Iso and Pasha, thank you very much for filling me in my comatose state. It's very kind of the two of you. So then, go and seek out Jonesy and Jones, and go and compare notes of your trippiness. Yes, because that's what you do when you're tripping balls. You find somebody else that shares the same delusions as yourself to actually confirm that they're not delusions. So this is where you get the spiritual merging in with the technological. And they kind of blend this fairly well in the way that they've put the story out there. And I kind of like the fact that you're not alone in the fact that you're tripping your nuts off. So it's kind of cool. Lovely jukebox here that you can interact with, which takes freaking ages to display anything. I mean, look at... I got bored. I pressed circle. I got out of there. Yeah, maybe I got ADHD or something. I just can't be arsed with this shite anymore. So let's head on out. Let's go. Right, okay, we get a load more trippiness and flashbacks and loveliness. Awesome. Yes, I get the idea. I'm going slowly insane. Playing this game, I tell thee. Yeah, pothead. Yeah, that's you. Brilliant. Have no idea why they flashed that up, but it really was disturbing. Right, so let's head on out and let's get in our ship in our freaking ballsy tripping our nuts off state, and let's fly our ship in our trippy ballsy tentacle manny nice state. I don't know really what to call this. Tentacly psychedelic-y state. Yes. And guess what? Guess who's flying the ship? What? Yeah! They trust me with that. I've just come out of a coma. He was outside the freaking chamber earlier. He knows I'm tripping my freaking nuts off, and he's letting me fly. I don't know whether that's a good thing. Health and safety, I would probably take the back seat if I were given the option. No, I am the pilot. I am the mystic. I have been touched by Tentacly Man, and I'm trusted to take the ship and fly it about. But there we go. It's a game, isn't it? So here we go, let's fly on off. So, there are two different types of resonance fields that I can actually follow at this point in time. There is a red resonance field, which lets you put up a scouting point. Yes, a scouting point to see the world around thee, and you put a flag in the ground and claim it as yours. Yes! Or you can find the blue one and go and build yourself a shelter. However, Iso, my co-pilot, who's trusting me with the wheel, has said go and find the red resonance first. So I'm trying to tune that in right now by moving it around before we even take off. There it is over there. You need to get it to spike like that, and you can see there is a spike over in the distance. That's where we're going. We're heading to that red point. So I'd imagine you guys have also had to do this. It's a pinkish sort of red. It's magenta, isn't it, or something? It's a pinky red. Anyway, we're going that way. I'm going to say red. Right, go that way. Follow the red one. Awesome. Once you land, you can put a flag in the ground. I say flag in the ground. It's more like a giant frickin' tuning fork type thing. If it'll let me poxy land. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm getting used to turning my scramjets off and on again. I mean, it's only taken, 6 hours to get used to that sort of mechanic, and it still foxes me from time to time. The controls on this game are a freaking beast. They're a pain in the arse, and in fact, there are times that I've been tempted to just turn this off and say, you know what, this playlist can frickin' do one. It's not a game for gamers. It's really not. It almost feels like the hardest part of this game is getting around the frickin' controls. It's a pain in the neck. It's like the actual ship is against you. You know, when you got your scramjets off, it's too slow. When you got your scramjets on, it goes too fast for some of the things. And there's no sort of balance in between. And when you're trying to get away from things, yeah, I've told you a couple of times, but I keep turning them off and on again, and yeah, getting caught up and stuff, and getting tangled up in hitboxes, which cuts your engines off. Pain in the neck. Yeah, ISO, go on, stick it in the frickin' ground. That took you long enough. I've had to waffle about how shite the controls are while you was doing that. There's a lot of waffle in this game, just like I'm doing right now, but their waffle is completely... yeah, it just doesn't really move forwards that quick. There's no real forwards motion in a lot of what they're saying. A lot of what they say when you go from place to place is exactly the same. Isn't it? Look, it calls me over to take a look. Come and have a look, mate. Come and have a look. See down there in the distance, there's the shigs inside. But I just went in, yeah, right, fair. Oh, okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. But you can't see them from up here. What the fudge are you on about, shigs? And then you get all this mumble-jumble stuff mentioning No Man's Sky. Yeah, brilliant. Well, nice one. Thank you. I have no idea what you was looking at. I have no idea what a frickin' shig is. I'd have to go into my menu to find out what he was on about. And yeah, by then, I don't even know where he was looking. It didn't put a marker or anything. And there's loads of times that happens. Frickin' devil bird batters my ship, nearly kills us, knocks us into a canyon, and now we do need repair kits. And you know what he was saying about shigs a moment ago, and pointing out towards sea? We need those things, because apparently shigs are what you need to make a repair kit from, on these barnacles, these royal whelks that sit on the side of rocks, out at sea. You get close to them, you initiate your pop, it pops the whelk, 3 pieces fall in the ocean, you use your grabber, you pick them up, and yes, you need 5 of them. So you need to find 2 of these whelk things. And not every rock has got a whelk thing on it. They've got things that look like the whelk things, but they're not illuminated, so you can't smash them. It's weird. And really frickin' frustrating, if I have to say so myself. And the only way you can repair your ship is go back to land, and then repair your ship. Yeah. And you can see that I've now got 4 stars of 5. I got to go do that again. I got to go find another 2 of those frickin' whelks, smash them, grapple hook them, go back to land, repair again. There's a lot of this rinse and repeat stuff going on in this 4 hours. I'm fairly sure this would have been 2 hours if you didn't have to repeat the same BS over and over again. And then, in between the BS, you get a lovely, lovely story, which doesn't actually progress all that fast. There's a bit of a pain in the neck. So here we go, repairing my ship. Lovely. So, after you've repatriated your ship, after being hit by a devil bird, you have to go and reconvene with your chums, with a little yellow marker. You can see it right over there and yonder, so I'm heading over that way. And yeah, it does take a little while to traverse the planet and get to where you need to go to, and it's on top of a frickin' mountain, and that was a pain in the neck getting up there, because if you try and go up the sides, you end up bouncing all the way down them. There's hitboxes that turn your engines off. You have to sort of find the slope and meander your way up there. Bit of a pain, bit of a trek. Yes, it doesn't feel like you're flying a ship that has flight. It feels like you're in a giant grasshopper that jumps rather than flies and glides. That's the best way to sort of, I'd give an analogy of these ships. They're like giant freaking crickets or something. But anyway, you touch down and you talk to these chaps. Now, they've put up some sort of antenna to talk to the mothership. However, they're missing a giant cog. It just went missing overnight, and they think one of the actual alien critters burrowed up from underneath the ground and took it by accident, perhaps, because that's what burrowing creatures do that can scale up frickin' mountains. Right, so then you have to go and look for this little critter, and that's by following a green resonance. So yeah, you can, if it goes thicker on one side than the other, then you need to turn that way. Okay, so you can see here I need to go to the right a little bit now. So here we go, I'm going to the right because it's thicker at one side. So just keep that in mind as well, so you can lock onto this thing. Now, I didn't realise that was the critter right away. I mean, My co-pilot sort of let me know that was happening. Scan the thing so you get a bit of information on it. So here we go. You can see there it's going to respond to disruptive noises and to visual input and emit electric pulse. Okay, really? Okay. And you can grapple to transport and punt. I don't think I'm going to be able to grapple and move this thing, so I didn't bother with the grapple right away. I thought I would try to make a disruptive noise, so I used my pop, and you can see there it heard it. Ha-ha! Step 1 accomplished. Now it says response to visual input, so I think I'm going to get my torch. I'm going to flash in its frickin' eyeball. Take this, you cycloptic frickin' unicorn. Yeah, it's not a unicorn, it's ginormous. It looks more like a rhinoceros. But yeah, it does nothing. So I'm thinking, am I flashing my torch into its rectum? That could be its rectum, that might not be its face. So I go round to the opposite end, and no, I had the right end. That was its eye. It's a cycloptic frickin' rhino, sort of stone-type, globule-type looking creature. So I shine my torch in its eye again. It does nothing. So, since I've exhausted all other options, I think, right, fine, I'm going to use the grapple, even though I don't think it's going to do anything, because this thing's freaking ginormous. But then I remembered, it's got a part, hasn't it? It's nicked a part. So maybe if I do use the grapple, maybe it would grab the part. Ha! It's grabbed something! Frickin' I'm off with your eyeball! I think I've got its eyeball. It got really frickin' angry. Whatever I grabbed from it, it's not a happy little bunny. It's burrowed, it's got away, but it smacked the crap out of me. Look at that. It looks like my health is back down to 2 frickin' stars again. I've got smoke coming out of me and all sorts of stuff, which means I might have to go and find some more of those frickin' whelks to go and repair my ship now. Arson biscuits. Right, okay, well, apparently, according to ISO, I can just chuck this thing that I just tore off of it. It's not the part we're after. And it looks like we're going to have to wait for this creature to resurface at some stage. Yeah. And next time, we're going to grapple and get the cog instead of pulling out its frickin' eye. Well, now it's blind, I guess. We might have a little bit more luck. Actually, I don't think that was its eye. It was just something. Righto. Fine, brilliant. So until that creature decides to pop up on its own accord and we get the green resonance again, I'm going to go looking for red resonances and blue resonances, and this is where I managed to maybe do another 4 or 5 of these. You can see here my Jett's health is back down to 2 stars. I did go out to sea. I did go look for some more whelks. Could I find any more whelks? No, they've all freaking gone. And some of those rocks have now got frickin' searchlights on, and when they hit you with their searchlights, they zap you with frickin' laser beams. So yeah, don't go looking there for whelks and how to repair your ship and stuff. Just go and set up one of these little settlement things, stick a flag in the ground. Lovely, there you go, ISO. You did that one a bit quicker than the last one. Well done. Hopefully we won't get attacked by another frickin' devil bird. Awesome. So now I'm going to fly off and go and find myself a blue resonance and maybe take a shelter. But at the same time, I'm just going around and exploring. It turns to night. You get this gloom stuff come in where if you go into the light, you start burning and your drives go down really quickly and it gets really uncomfortable very quickly. So I'm trying to find a shelter right now to spend the night, and it's a blue resonance, like I say. Whenever you get to these little blue areas, there's some little mini versions of that frickin' cycloptic rhino type saw type thing down here. You need to grapple them and throw them off the campsite. Yes, get rid of the frickin' camper interloping gits. Yes, you marshmallow looking sausage. Go! Boom! And you? Pow! Oh no, I threw him back on the camp. Right, I'm going to have to tether him and throw him again. Go on! Get gone! No, still not gone. Right, okay, fine. I'm going to tether you again. I'm going to throw you miles this time. Pow! Yeah, get gone. Right, there we go. Now we can put down our settlement. Lovely jubbly. So, before I thought it just automatically changed on the X icon. It doesn't. You sort of, once you're above the encampment, you can press down to get your actual camp, and then you put down your settlement and boom, you get this little force field. Now what I would say though is sometimes you have to sit here for some time before it gives you the option to sleep. There we go. Now I can go in and I can sleep. But that took some time to pop up. It's a little bit twitchy. A little bit odd there. So yeah, just sit around, wait for a while, and apparently sometimes it kicks in, sometimes you can sleep, and sometimes you can move the game on. Other times you might have to take off, move around, land again, try to sleep again, and it's a little bit weird. But yeah, we managed to do it. We've done it in the end. Lovely jubbly. And at this point, the green resonance has reappeared, re-emerged, so yes, that cycloptic rhinoceros with the cog, or whatever part they need for that neutral machine, and to send the signal up to the mothership, has re-emerged, Kated. So right now I'm trying to get over this mountain. I'm trying to pop over the mountain, and yes, it is kind of like controlling a robotic cricket. I'm going to try and get over there from here. So I enable my scramjets, I turn them on, and I hit X like a crazy mofo, and eventually I managed to get over the mountain, which is really tedious. And you find this tedium over and over again. But there is hitboxes on these sort of things, these mountains, these trees, and pretty much everything else that sort of disables your scramjets, which is a bit of pain. It'd be nice to be able to actually fly in a ship, you know what I mean, rather than just jump giant chasms. But here we go, we've arrived, and I jumped and I landed right on his frickin' eyeball, which has upset him greatly. Okay, there's also a load of little bugs. These little hovery bug things. Yep, a little bug impression again. There it is. Awesome. They come at you from every freaking angle, and you've got to go and pick up one of those sort of round balls that pops and makes pollen appear for them to go and snuggle into that. So, I'm over here and I'm picking up one of those little things now, tether that and grapple this. And what you then have to do, as I found that the best thing to do, is after you've grappled it and you've got it, is to throw it near to the rhino-y type creature, because there's more of these little things that spawn closer to him. I did try and lure them down to the shore. That idea went to shite. So throw it near him, and then all the little bug things will go and bother that instead. And just wait, just sit idle and just wait. And you see he's gone calm, all the little bug things have all gone in as well, and now I'm just going to grapple that thing off the back of him. Just gingerly, don't enable your scramjets, just creep up, nick it. He's still going to go mental, he's still going to shatter your shields and really knacker you up. You can see here my Jett's health has now gone up to 4 stars, it was back down to 2 earlier. So I did manage to recover health of my actual Jett just by going around and popping stuff, and eventually my shields went back up. I didn't need to get any because I didn't have to get a repair kit. I don't know how that actually happened, but it happened, and I'm not too sure how. Well, there must have been something I popped that did it. I think it was one of those blue puddles or something. Who knows? Anyway, we're now back to this actual resting point, but at this resting point here that I'm getting stuck on and bouncing all over and just having no control whatsoever, which is a running theme. Don't worry, you get used to it. Yeah, there's a settlement here, and now I need to get down there, land, and palm off this cog to these people here, who set up a camp somewhere completely different to where they were earlier. Awesome! At least I think it's different. It does look different, doesn't it? And last time it was on top of a freaking mountain. I don't know why they couldn't have set down here in the first place. It's a lot nicer area. Awesome. That's probably something that I missed in the chat. Because to be fair, a lot of this text now, people, I am just sort of trying to get through it as quickly as I can and just scan read in bits. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm like, okay, well that must mean this and that must mean that. And it kind of makes sense, it kind of doesn't. But at the moment we're trying to get in contact with Jow, the mothership, and make sure that everything's okay up there. And they need to find out how things are going on down here. Whether we tell them that I'm tripping my nuts off and so is Jonesy, I don't know. But yeah, I should think we relay that information because it's quite pertinent, to be fair. Especially if we want to relocate the whole of the race down to this planet where there's something evil lurking inside of the volcano that's pictured in their artwork and inside of their religious archives, which is a bit strange as well. There's a lot of unnerving stuff going on, to be fair, people. I mean, we left our actual homeworld to come here to this actual fated planet because it's all written in our literatures. You know, there is this whole sort of underlying religious sort of spiritual aspect to this game, as well as the technological and sci-fi stuff going on. You've got all this mystic stuff going on. So I don't know whether that sort of appeals to everybody, but to be honest, it's kind of given me a level of intrigue into trying to find out what's going on. And I am still interested and still vested to see whether they actually make this planet home. Because to me, this feels like a complete hellhole. I think I'd rather take my chances with the coal-infested planet that we was in originally, to be fair. Because this one is just, it's got giant freaking evil moths on it. It's got a volcano that gets inside your head and messes with you. It's got Tentacly Man that lives in a church. It's a little bit bizarre, to be fair. Righto, so one of our scout ships is downed. It's crashed. And I believe Jonesy was piloting this thing. This could have so easily have been me, you know. Why let people that have been infected by Tentacly Man come out here and fly ships? Beyond me. Anyhow, so yeah, we interface with this chappie here, and they tell us that Jonesy is no longer with them. They parachuted out and can't find Jonesy. But Jonesy has got a a little locator on her. So hopefully we'll be able to locate Jonesy. So we're looking for a yellow resonance now. So I fly around in circles for like 15 minutes, not seeing any yellow resonance. But you see that there's text popping up on the screen. Basically, I should have just sat still for half an hour or something and just let all the text come up, because eventually you get a yellow resonance after they're finished chatting shite. Okay, awesome. So you head on over to where the actual yellow thing is and you find Jonesy, but you can't land there, no. The other ship has to come and land there, so you're waiting for that to happen while they're chatting shite again. They tell you to watch the sky and make sure that nothing comes at you. It doesn't. The whole time you're sitting there chatting to them, nothing actually happens. It happens after they take off and they start moving. And to get rid of these things, you just need to pop this all the things that look like dandelions. They're little antennas with blue lights on the top. Just get near them, hit X or whatever it is to actually do the pulse jumpy thing, and pop them. I'm doing mine by doing the side roll. Just pop those. Once they go out to sea, you need to pop the towers that look like they're on fire, the black posts with the red glowing bits at the top. Just hit them. Even if you can't see the bad guys coming at you, as long as you've got an arrow on your screen to signify that they're close, pop them. And hopefully it's going to knock them out of the sky and just make them stop. In the end, you just have to follow them back to shore. You have to follow them back to the actual sort of towery home office type thing, if you want to call it that. Your main shelter that's on top of a freaking cliff that's always a pain in the neck to get to unless you approach it from one angle. Here we go. There's our little lighthouse looking type salt shaker. There we go. So, yeah, I can't land. I can't land. There's a load of freaking evil fluttering around at the top of it. Freaking flying little gits. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty much all little meanies in this game of flying ones, apart from that cycloptic rhino that nicked our cog. Right, okay. So you go down here, and this chap says, no, you can't get in. Vic says, no, we can't get in. Vic says no, because there's things, there's flappy things, so we can't go in. Really? That's the door, and there's no flappy things by the door. They're all at the top. I'm sure I could go in. But no, he says no, you need to get rid of those things, you need to get rid of the flappy things. When did this become my job? Okay, alright, fine, awesome. Right, so we've got to get rid of the flappy things. But before we can do that, we need to go take shelter. We need some rest. Yes, so you have to go and find the blue resonance again. You see the rinse and repeaty stuff? It's here in droves. So now we have to go down and we have to move the things. We have to move the little mini cycloptic rhino type looking marshmallow creatures. We've got to throw those. Yeah, because throwing creatures is what we do as soon as we land on the planet. Yeah, this is our shelter now. Go on, off you go. Yes, I'm evicting you. How am I evicting you? With a freaking grappling hook, and I'm going to kick you. We're going to actually punch you over into the distance. Yes, because that's the kind of peaceful, fun-loving creatures we are. Right, awesome. Yes, this is my shelter now, not yours. Ha! My land. Yes, yeah, you're not far away enough. Yeah, I'm going to punch you all the way over. I'm not going to put you with your friend because that's too kind. I'm going to put you over there on your own. Awesome. Yeah, you're all out the way now. Brilliant. I can put down my shelter on my sheltery type area. This is not your home. This is my home. Awesome. Goodbye. And yeah, we've established a shelter. Now, this is where it didn't go into sleep mode automatically. And I was like, have I landed in the right spot? And I kept taking off, re-landing, taking off, re-landing. And for the life of me, I couldn't get back to go to sleep mode. So I thought, you know what, sod this then. Okay, well, I've actually done the sheltery thing. Cool. But then I realised that I had to press this thing to go into here to talk to them. And then you get the sleep mode. So yeah, it was the trackpad that I needed to press. So there we go. I landed again and hit the trackpad and in it went. But there was no indication to do that right away. You had to sit there for a good 5-6 minutes before that popped up. Righto! Now, after you've had a good night's sleep, head back on up to this big shelter. And you'd find that there's these blue vortexes that you can now scan. Scan them all so you can learn about the vortexes. And it says to disable the vortexes, you need to run an electric current in. Well, you know these guys, these little critters that fly around here, when you get close to them, they go yellow. That means they've locked onto you. You need to have your pulse drive on, your scramjets on. And once your scramjets are on, they're going to follow you. I managed to get 2 to follow me this time. The first time I went, I only had 1 follow me. And this time I got 2. So I made them go over those blue vortexes. And boom! They get disabled. Because those are electric-y type eels, and they electrocute the vortexes, and that gets rid of the scuttly flying little critters. The trogs, or whatever they call them. Yeah, anyway, they're gone. Brilliant. Now I want to land. I have to wait for about 15 minutes to land while you're waiting for a whole load of dialogue to go away. And you have to go... You just wait. Just wait. Don't fly off. Just wait for the dialogue to end, because it goes on for frickin' ages. Then once you're in, if you think that dialogue outside was bad, you've got dialogue upon dialogue to go through, and they're talking about the condition of good old Jonesy. Now, Jonesy is in one of those tanks under observation. You can see her scan on top left before and after on the top right, and you can see it's going red. It's going freaking pink. And something is inside of Jonesy, and they're wondering whether that same thing is happening to me, yet I have not come under the influence as yet. Not as bad as Jonesy and Jones. I keep sort of tripping out for a second, and then getting my get stable again. But yeah, they don't sort of take on the signs that this is happening. I mean, they can see Jones is in a tank, and she crashed her ship and caused all this other shenanigans, but then they still send me out on missions. Right. Okay, so next mission is persevere. And I guess I'm going to have to persevere with Tentacly Man inside my head. Until next time, goodbye, goodbye, and goodbye again. See you for that one. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe. And I'd like to say a massive, great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers. And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.